Hey everyone, I just wanted to use this time now to actually talk about what I did on Sunday, which was a pretty big deal for me. And I thought, it's all very well and good posting singing videos of myself, but not actually taking the time to talk about the journey at the same time would be a shame. Because there's actually a lot going on at the moment as I start to confront these fears. And for anyone going through a similar journey or contemplating going through a similar journey, you may just be interested to find out the thoughts and perspectives of someone that is going through this, as in confronting fears and fears that I personally have held on to for a very long time and have been running away from, and that is my performance anxiety. So just in case you're not sure what I'm talking about, I've been doing videos on YouTube as a means for me to start getting over myself and confronting my performing anxiety, and really just for me the challenge has been confronting the fear, but also making sure that it's about confronting the fear and not about how I sound when I sing, because that's kind of where the fear started in the first place. I was always so worried about how I sounded because I went through a lifetime of performances that were attached to grades, whether that was exams, auditions, um, or competitions, things like that. And because of a lifetime of doing those kinds of performances, I just got it stuck in my head that I always had to be perfect. I always had to be well presented. I always had to come across a certain way. And that if I didn't tick off these things on the list, that I just wasn't a worthy singer, a worthy performer, let alone a person that was worthy of doing these things. And it got so bad and the pain and the fear was so intense that it was just easier to spend basically the last 10 years not doing it. And I finally reached a point this year where I decided that I wasn't going to put up with myself anymore, all the limiting stories or beliefs that I've been telling myself basically as far back as I can remember, that I'd had enough, and that what if, like, what could happen if I started confronting these fears? What's the worst thing that could happen? So I started these videos on YouTube, and just as a means for proving to myself that I could do it, and proving not necessarily that I could sing or that I'm a good singer, just proving that I could overcome the fear and that it didn't matter. The rest of it didn't and doesn't matter. And from that step, I decided, well, it's all very well and good doing videos on YouTube in the safety of this space. And I was actually talking to a friend about it, and he's like, well, you do videos, but basically you can do as many takes as you like until you're happy. Whereas in a real life performance, you can't do that. I mean, if you kept saying every 2 seconds, stop guys, sorry, I made a mistake, or stop guys, I'm feeling really nervous, I'm just going to wait until I feel better, like we'd never get anywhere. But like I could literally spend 6 hours in this room doing takes, take after take after take until I was happy with it and posting the final presented perfect completed image. And I realized, no, that's not what I want to do. So a process of these videos is actually just doing it in 1 or 2 takes. One, okay, you kind of need one to sort of warm up and feel comfortable in front of the camera. And then maybe the second one, you just do it. Because like I said, the point is overcoming the fear. The point is not to sound perfect or sound good. I mean, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube, zillions of stuff of singers and performers doing things perfectly, and they've probably spent a whole lifetime, or whatever it is, perfecting that. And this is not what this is about. And at some point, realizing this, I realized that yes, even though I try to do things in 1 or 2 takes, it's still not live performance. I am still, even though this video gets completed and posted on the internet where loads of people can watch it, right in this second, I am alone in my booth recording to a camera. So I'm basically talking to myself or talking to you through this camera. So it's not mimicking a real life performance situation, and this is not live streamed or anything. So um because the point is overcoming the fear, I thought I need to start doing live performances. And there aren't really much opportunities right now to be doing live performances. So I just decided I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and I'm going to start singing in the street. And the original thought I had was going to the main shopping street here where I live and just start singing. Then I realized, oh gosh, I can't actually do that because of it's COVID right now and the restrictions, having to wear a mask. Here in Germany, you have to have 6 meters distance if you're singing, and a busy shopping street close to Christmas, like it's not possible. So I was out walking with a friend by the river, and we came to this arch under a bridge, and this arch is known to have beautiful acoustics, and there was this violinist playing. And I just had the thought, I was like, do it here. Amazing. This would be perfect. And I'd had the thought already for a while that I wanted to do this. I just wasn't sure where would be a good spot. And also trying to find excuses not to do it, trying to find a place where it'd be quiet. So, yes, I will sing in public, but no one's actually going to hear me because no one actually walks that way. So, I just decided, no, don't be a chicken. And when I went on this walk with this friend, this was last week, and literally like 3 or 4 days later, I decided, right, Sunday's the day, I'm going to go do it. If you actually want to see me, the video of that, I would say performance, it wasn't really a performance, but standing there singing in public, my first time in basically 10 years singing in front of people or in front of strangers. Just follow the link here. It'll pop up somewhere. You can have a look at it. But I just wanted to talk about how I felt then, because I think it's really important. I do talk about this. So it's been a long time coming up to arriving at that point. Like it kind of, when I've decided I was going to do it, I did it. But that didn't happen overnight. This has taken 10 years in the making to actually get to the point where mentally I felt strong enough to actually do this. I'd just like to say that a month ago, I could never have done what I did on Sunday, not even a month ago. In fact, almost a month ago, I was on holiday, and we got to this beautiful spot in this national park, and I was in Cyprus, and like there was no one around. We reached the top of this cliff surrounded by nature, and at the top of the cliff was just this amazing like 180-degree view of the sea, and the sun was setting, and I just had this impulse to sing, but I couldn't do it. I just had this massive blockage. And then the voice in my head kicked off, like, you can't do this. What if someone hears you? You know, this is a tourist spot. People are going to come up here and going to see you squawking at the top of a cliff, and no one's going to want to listen to you, crappy voice, sing. And like the thoughts that came into my head at that time, also I was like, with someone at the time. I was with my partner, and I had not really been singing in front of him either. And I was like, oh my God, I can't, he's going to hear me. What's he going to think? This is terrible. And I got so bad, I started crying. This was like all the thought patterns that just, and I got so blocked, I couldn't sing. So here was this first impulse of just like, Lisa, let go and sing. And I couldn't do it. And we went away from that place, this beautiful place, and I was just so angry and so frustrated with myself and just beating up on myself. I was like, Lisa, what's wrong with you? Why couldn't you just sing? Making such a big deal out of it. And I thought, no, this is exactly the kind of negative thought patterns that have prevented me from following my impulse of singing my whole life, from sharing my voice with others. You know what? Tomorrow, it's our last day here. We're going to go back, or I'm going to come back, I'm going to drive the car, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to sing no matter what. I don't care if this entire cliffside is full of tourists. I'm just going to sing my heart out and see what happens. But it came more from a place of being totally pissed off at myself. It was just like, I can't live with myself. I can't live with these feelings anymore. I have to do something about it. This is just stupid and ridiculous. So the next day I went back to the mountain, or we went back to that cliff top, And after about 10 minutes, I cried again because it was so difficult to let go. Um, I just did it. I just started singing. I hadn't warmed up. I hadn't prepared a song. It was just something that came out of my mouth. And I thought the first uh, YouTube video I did on this channel was Go the Distance from Hercules. And in the movie, he sings it on a cliff top overlooking the water. And I thought, this is perfect. I'm just going to sing that song. And I still think I sounded terrible. But the point is, it's not about how I sounded. The point is I overcame the fear and I just did it. And I asked my partner to record it just so that I could share that with other people and this journey with other people. And just to say that if you do suffer from extreme anxiety like I do, it's really important that we talk about it. I don't think this is talked about enough because you're so stuck in the stories in your head and you're so stuck in the feelings of shame and guilt that you feel you shouldn't be feeling. Like, what kind of normal person can't just sing on a cliff top? Well, you'd be surprised. A lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. So I think it's because I had that experience. Also, you can find that video if you're interested. That was the video on that cliff top that day, and that was after another bout of crying and an emotional release of just singing. So because of that experience, I was able to do what I did on Sunday, and that was go along the river under this bridge, which had beautiful acoustics, and sing. And I spent about overall like 15 minutes singing, sang a few songs, and the thoughts that went through my head, I mean, surprisingly, I was actually very calm. I've spent a lot of work, been spending a lot of time this year working on um, being aware of my thoughts and the types of stories that my mind is telling me, and really learning to observe them and learning to distinguish my actual self from these thoughts. And I've had to learn that myself is not the thoughts or the stories that my mind is telling me. My mind is just telling me thoughts and stories to protect me, that they've done ever since I was as little, as far back as I can remember. And these are the thoughts that have stopped me. So I'm just now starting to, through meditation, through a lot of different things, learning how to separate these stories, these negative patterns from myself, that really take a step back. That doesn't mean I don't feel them. I still felt anxious, but it didn't have the same potency that it did because I was finally able to separate myself from this negative story. Needless to say, when I got onto that bridge, I knew I just had to do it. I couldn't procrastinate. I was just like, I just have to sing now. And the person recording it was like, oh, wait, I'm not ready with the camera. I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to sing now. And I felt resistance in my body, like a lot of, when you feel stressed, you're just sort of very deer in the headlights. You feel very, blocked. And there's awareness part of you that once you know how to separate yourself from these feelings, that just says, okay, I'm aware you're there, and I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to feel that fear, and literally I'm going to do it anyway. And because I acknowledged those feelings and that fear, ironically, it made it easier to do. And the funniest thing, guys, is that once you actually do that, something that I told myself I could never have done, sung in public, are you joking? All these people that would hear me, or like going on their walk, or going about their business on a Sunday and hearing some random girl singing in a bridge. Like, the thing is, I made all those stories about me. The reality is no one actually gives a damn about you. And it's true. I was there singing. I would say 95% of the people just went by. There was probably a glance or two, but no, they're either listening to their music, they're talking to their friends, they're on the phone, they're jogging, or they're so deep in their own thoughts that they don't even notice you. And I was standing there singing, observing all of this and going, this is actually not a big deal. Why am I so worried? And isn't it the case that often when we confront a fear that we've held onto for so long and we finally confront it and we do it and we're like, that was so not a big deal. What was I so worried about? I don't get it, right? And it's so true. And I didn't sound perfect. I forgot the words of one song. I had to dig out my phone. And even with the phone, I forgot the words. And I was just like, oh dear, okay. But I realized it doesn't matter. No one cares but you, right? And it was just such an emotional release. Like I felt that high of having done that, of having confronted a fear for like the next 3 or 4 days. We're now Friday, and I did this on Sunday. So I just felt so proud of myself. And for other people, like it's so not a big deal, especially if you make a career out of performing and like you do this all the time. You're like, what's the big deal? Maybe not. Or maybe you can understand if you are a performer, even what doing something like this feels like. And all these fears, most of the time, are irrational. They are years and years of conditioning, of stories that we've told ourselves to protect ourselves because we got hurt once. But the thing is, those stories just do not help you anymore. And the stories I've been telling myself do not help me anymore. And that's what I've decided I've finally had enough of. So because of that, and because I just felt so good after Sunday, I'm going to go back and do it again in 2 days' time, Sunday. Sunday because it's the day where most people are going for a walk by the river. And also because I can ask my friends to come and join me and get it filmed for you guys if you're interested in watching it. This time I have asked some friends to come because I noticed on Sunday when I was singing, I actually felt more fear when people stopped to listen. I got more self-conscious and the lens came back on me like, oh, okay, people are watching now. Don't stuff up, you know. Oh, by the way, you might have noticed me holding this. This is because I've just had like some neck tension and like I've been like, oh, I can't go on camera with this on my neck. That just looks weird. So I'm holding it, but you know, I really should have just left it there. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go back this Sunday. I've asked some friends to join me. I'm going to keep talking about what's going on in my head, the types of things that I'm feeling. Just to say as well, today I went for that same walk. I went under that same bridge and I felt a lot of resistance again. A part of me was like, just sing something. And I was like, no, I'm on my own. I can't do that. And the same stories and the same protection mechanism kicked in. And I was just like, no, I've had enough. Okay, I'm just going to sing. And I felt a lot of resistance. I was like, people are going to think you're weird. It's cold. It's like 5 degrees. You haven't warmed up. I was just like, not having any of that. I'm just going to sing. And I just sang one song and I felt the resistance. I felt my body tensing up. But again, I was able to separate that part of me to the real conscious awareness part of me, and that part just says, I recognize you're there, I recognize you're scared, I recognize these feelings, and just breathe, keep breathing and keep doing it. And the very act of doing it and being aware of feeling those feelings and doing it anyway actually relaxed me. Yeah. And when I finished the song, I was like, I could sing another song. And then I thought, well, if I sing another song, I know I could sing another song and I could just keep singing, actually. Once you let go of that first inner resistance, it's amazing what comes out. And I think this is what the proof is. Imagine if you let go of your inner resistance, whatever your fears are, if you just confronted them and you actually saw what happens on the other side of fear, you would start to see some amazing things happening. And you'd actually also just remark at your own thoughts and go, why have I been telling myself this for years? It's ridiculous. Anyway, so hopefully see you on Sunday. If you can't be there live, I'm going to post it to my Facebook. If you can't be there, I will hopefully get a recording of it in some way, shape or form, and I will post it on my channel on Sunday. If you are interested in following my journey, please don't hesitate to subscribe and like the video and keep following my progress. Also, guys, if you are on a similar journey or you're having thoughts of wanting to confront fears, especially if you are a musician, a performer, performing anxiety, which I think is something not talked about nearly enough, please join me on this journey. Please let me know the kinds of things that you've been going through, and if you're having problematic thoughts that are stopping you from doing what you really want to do, you're just really worried about the outcome, please, I'm here to help. I'd love to hear you, and I'd love to, share this journey with others as well. So there we are, guys. I guess I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.